Only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Elite Currency. My name is Chris, and this is a webinar from Nenad and myself. Nenad will not be in this particular webinar, but I'm sure he'll join another time. We got 4 webinars coming up. Today at 2 p.m. GMT time is the first one. Tomorrow is another one, Wednesday, June 1st, and then next week, June 7th and 8th, we have 2 more. We might continue with this. Let's see. But first of all, let's have these 4 and see if people are interested. But good that you're here. We're going to take a look at the Forex market, of course. So therefore, we should warn you about the risk involved. Trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk, may not be suitable for everyone. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This webinar is for educational and informational purposes only. And by continuing watching this webinar, you agree with this disclaimer. Plus, you are aware of the risk involved when trading. All right, we wanted to quickly introduce ourselves. Probably you know Nenad and myself, and that's why you're joining. But just in case, Nenad and myself are trading the Forex markets. We do some analysis as well in webinars with Admiral Markets. We're very closely working together with Admiral Markets. So we recommend also to try Admiral Markets as a broker, not only because we say so, but also Admiral Markets did win, for instance, the UK Forex Award. So that might be interesting for you to try out. But if you do try it, let us know, because we give credit and courses for free if you sign up through us. Try out this link and you can find out more information about that. Quick note about this webinar before we take a look at the live charts as they're developing right now. We're going to be taking a look at patterns, the MACD, momentum. Those are the focus of today, because a lot of things we can look at on the charts, and I want to keep it focused, otherwise you'll be falling asleep. We could analyze forever. So that's the core focus, these 3 things. When I talk about stop loss, I will be using a technical stop loss, which is using the combination of pivot points and lows and highs for best stop loss placement. TP would be the next unbroken PP, pivot point, or fib. I'll be looking for trends. I'll be using HARP charts to identify trends. It's very simple, looking for light green colors on the hourly chart above the moving averages, with oscillators in the blue, and the green boxes indicate when there's a trend. Very simple. You'll be easy to very intuitively understand that soon. But this is an example. Then I'm checking filters. Is price near a pivot point? Is it below the daily pivot still? Then I would hesitate to take longs and probably skip that. All right. Are there news events coming on? Is there momentum in play? And I'll be looking on lower time frames to see if I got blue candles. And are there setups? Look at 4 setups among others. In fact, HARP charts are charts that have setups in them, but you can just also use them as charts as a own like charting system or charting package in a way to analyze charts. All right, but there are setups as well integrated in this charts. All right, so we'll also be looking at the 4-hour candles, of course, to get a picture of what can happen in the upcoming session. So let's take a look at what's going on. Now, don't be scared with the charts, all right? You'll soon understand them. Let's take a look at pure price action first of all. 4-hour chart. Let's take a look. What is the trend on the euro dollar? And, well, I wouldn't say trend, but the momentum is certainly up. If we look at the candles, 4-hour candles, you can clearly see bullish candles at this moment. We don't have any bullish price action like candlestick patterns. We did have a bullish engulfing twin here. That's the one I traded in the Admiral Markets webinar this morning. But I said, listen, if there's a bullish candle appearing on the charts, I'm out of that trade, because then we might see a bigger corrective zigzag to the upside. And that's exactly what happened. And look at the MACD, already thick blue, indicating the momentum to the upside. And look at that, we got the upside. So clearly momentum to the upside. 1-hour chart, we can see that same thing here. Bullish candles at this moment. And I said that if we get a bullish candle, a bullish pin bar this morning, I would be out. Now this was still bearish, but look at this bullish candle. So anyone looking for a long setup, this is the candle that you needed. Look at the MACD as well, thinned from thick here to thin. You see that? In any case, you don't even need the MACD. Look at the bullish candle I talked about there. So anyone taking the long right there did well, and maybe if you're in that trade, you're up more. I took profit already, 25 pips to the upside in this up movement. But if you're in that trade, even better. Then you could be locking in more. But I got out at the pivot point. All right, so we got upside momentum at this moment. Are there any filters to be worried about? Let's take a look at the 50-minute chart. And let's take a look at momentum now, because 1 hour, 4 hour, we're looking at candles. Now let's take a look at momentum. And although perhaps you don't have access to or don't have these candles on your chart at the moment, still look along, because you can use that info for the upcoming trading, let's say, hours until the next webinar we have with Elite Currency tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central European Time. So is there a setup right now? No, we're at the R2, so the euro dollar at this point, all right, is not in a good position. But there was a setup, as you can see on the 5-minute chart, right here. There was another setup right there. That's a momentum setup. That's an arrow setup, actually. Look at that arrow, clearly indicating the continuation. You see that? So we had basically an early turnaround trade here. All right, and I took profit at the M4 for 25 pips right there. All right, or close to it. That was the reversal trade. The arrow continuation setup after the retracement, as you can see, happened right in here. You can see clearly the arrow, clearly the momentum getting back into the candle. You see that? Very simple to see. And the R2 is then the target, because that's the next pivot point. So that was another smaller trade on the 5-minute chart, another 20 pips to the upside right there. The arrow does not repaint. No, that always is a fixed thing and will not change. So this arrow was here, was there at that point. As soon as the candle closes, the only thing you need is a candle close. As soon as it closes, it stays there, and it will stay there forever. What we need, though, at this point, this was not a good arrow, because we need space to the next fib. And we just hit the M4. So we have to be careful when price is bouncing off pivots like that to wait for a retracement, basically. All right. So anyhow, this is just to give you an example of how setups could have been available on the euro dollar, as discussed earlier today. Let's take a look at what's going on other pairs to see if we can trade something right now. Pound dollar, let's take a look. We have a bullish candlestick pattern right here. TLS, that's price action signal right there. You can get this indicator, by the way, for free of charge, this price action indicator. Just send me an email. I'll send that to you, no problem. Let's see, TLS, what kind of information? To be honest, I don't even remember by heart. Let's see if we can find it. Can't see it, 1, 2, 3. This moment, let me move this slightly down. 3-line strike. All right, of course. There we go. 3-line strike. So let's take a look at that potential right there. Let's take a look at the candles. So we got a bullish candle, a bounce, as I said earlier today too. It's still in a bouncing spot. Now we got it. The push through was a bit more than I expected, actually, but we're still in a bouncing spot. But if you look at these hourly candles, we don't really have momentum. Let's take a look at the 4-hour and look at the 4-hour MACD. That too is very iffy. It's neutral. So I would skip the pound USD. All right, I would skip the pound USD unless perhaps we see some bullish candles. But I think I'm going to wait till tomorrow. This is not a trend at this point. You can see gray candles, and we need light green candles for light green candles away from these moving averages. We don't have that at the moment. We have a candlestick pattern, so it could be worth it perhaps tomorrow again to look at this. But I'm going to skip this one. All right, dollar yen. Let's take a look at the candles. What do we have here? Do we have any candlestick patterns? Well, we got some bearish candlestick patterns, all right, but they're going sideways. So at the moment, I wouldn't say that those are important. We've got some smaller 4-hour candles basically going sideways. So if we look at the MACD, it's an uptrend. Price is going sideways. What does that tell us? That momentum is still up. I would say that at this moment, things are still bullishly aligned. It looks like it's being a triangle is being built, and there could be one more push up, one last push up basically up to 111.75. If we use Fibonacci targets, you can see that there's that space up to the fourth level, all right? And for those that don't know what that means, we'll have to discuss that in a different webinar just because of time constraints. But basically, there is that space left for one more push, and then we do bump into huge daily resistance, all right? So from that point of view, let's see. Let's go to the 50-minute chart. Do we have momentum to the upside? And at this point, we can't really say we do. Let's take a look at the 5-minute chart. You see we got red candles at this moment. So what we're looking for is a renewed upside that can break above the pivot. We had it here. We had a small push up. That was probably a break-even trade because it didn't hit the target, but did make a lower high. So that could have been easy for a break-even trade right there. We're looking for a bit of a better break here, and it could happen. We got basically correction like this. So I think if we break above the pivot and we break above, let's see, what level do we need to break? I would say, let's see. Yeah, we need a blue candle on the 5-minute chart and an arrow for the momentum, for the arrow setup to arrive. For those that don't trade with the HARP charts, I think that I would be looking for break above 111.25, to be honest. Looking for break, a small pattern on a 5-minute chart, and a break of that bull flag. All right, for those that are trading naked, that's what I'd be looking for on a 5-minute chart. I still think, I know that it's a risky one. I know that many are looking for reversals, and I understand that. And there is huge resistance up in here as well. But considering the momentum is sideways zone, I still think it's free, kind of free to look for still continuations up to that last push. And then I certainly would be cautious of turnaround at that resistance level. All right, that's just my take on it. If it doesn't happen by today, if we don't get a good break above this level, I'm not touching it though, right? Because this could be a triangle. This is a triangle, and if it breaks the triangle to the downside, well, that could retrace pretty deeply. And that could be a counter trend trade as well, actually. All right, so that's my thoughts on the dollar yen at the moment. Earlier today, I was in a long. I actually got out of that long. I was in a long from here. I got out of that long here, actually. Because I saw a bit of a triangle arrive, and I wanted to get out of that triangle formation. I wanted to get out of that, basically not get stuck in the long when the triangle is being built. So I lost a couple of pips, but not that much actually. Small loss because it was only a few pips away from an entry. All right, that's enough on the dollar yen. So let's take a look at the Aussie. Aussie is an uptrend. You can see I'm in a long at the moment. This morning, I actually didn't like the Aussie too much, but then I looked at the charts again, and I just saw an uptrend because of the formation here on the HARP and the charts indicating uptrend. So if we look at price action, all right, we see bullish price action. We see a bearish candlestick pattern, but that has been already broken due to this bullish candle. So all in all, I think we have bullish momentum. Look at the MACD here. We got a bullish trend on the hour, on the 4-hour, on the momentum at least, bullish momentum on the Aussie. We got a trend on the Aussie as well. So what I was looking for on a 50-minute chart basically was a simple retracement as we had here. Bull flag, that happened. Well, basically I was looking for, to be precise, momentum candles, retracement, continuation, right? So on the 5-minute chart, you see that nicely here where he had the arrow. That's, you can see where's the buy. And I'm at break-even at the moment. For those that are not in that trade, I think that there could be good space right now, actually a bit lower. But the R1 is still open, but that's a bit close now. It's only 13 pips away. So I think that probably a better, it could be okay now. I think that we already hit the R1 actually. The next target is M4. So this looks like a potential continuation of this USD actually as we speak. For me, that would be more of a scale in, which I don't do that often, so I'll just keep it as it is. But I think that this is a new opportunity here or a bit lower. The original candle was here actually for a break to 72.87, 73. Stop loss would be below the M3, 72.37-ish, about 20 pips at the moment. With 87 is the target, about 30 target. All right, this is 5-minute chart, of course, so small targets. Could be. I don't have the outcat on this. I have only the majors, but let's take a look. We can take a look at that. Dollar CAD, just to give you an idea, the Kiwi also has an uptrend, but the dollar CAD doesn't. No trend. Price is going sideways. Very easy to see, so we can skip those. All right, pound AUD is a bit of a risky trade I took because I was saying in today's webinar that I'm looking for reversals from here, but I got knocked out myself. So I said, okay, I'm looking for a pullback. Remember here, the momentum was clear, but I'm looking for a pullback for continuation. Remember that I had the fib targets basically saying that the 272 target will create a bit of a bounce, and we're looking for a move down to the minus 61.8. So we had a bit of a bounce at the minus 272 target. You can see candle momentum switching, and now we had a continuation with the 5-minute chart. So I took a bit of a risk. I took a short here on the arrow. I thought it was risky because it didn't. The correction was still mild, I thought, and could expand to the pivot point, I was thinking, but I thought it was worth it. So if you look at the 4-hour chart, though, you see clear momentum candles here. Look, 4-hour bearish candles, 4-hour bearish MACD, 1 hour, we see bearish alignment already, looking at the Heikin-Ashi candles and moving averages, all right? So 50-minute chart, we see bearish momentum. That's all in play. And we see a turnaround here of the MACD as well. And a 5-minute chart, we get the arrow setup as well. So I'm focusing on the arrow setup at the moment, but we also had a Mr. T setup right in here actually as the Fisher turned from thick to thin. All right. So this is going okay. Tight stop loss because I actually moved the stop loss just a tad above this fractal already, just to reduce risk. And I'm hanging in for the M1. I'll actually put a TP already there at here, 20108. All right. That is it worth entering right now? Let's take a look. Stop loss 40 pips. Take profit 62. Could still be good. Maybe I would put a pending order just a bit higher at 75 because that's where the candle switched actually. Now the stop loss here is a bit tight for a new entry. I have it there because it's a trail stop. So the 5-minute entry stop loss would be better above this top probably, right? Because I'm using a trail, I'm using a bit different rules. Or not different rules, but I'm using trade management. Whereas if you enter a new setup, it's better to use the original stop loss, I think, which is above a top, a technical top and pivot point. M2 technical top right there. All right, so that is a potential. So let's take a look. Those couple of pairs we looked at, Euro AUD, last one. Is also same thing actually. It could be a setup as well for downside. But the euro pound is moving up at the moment, so I think the pound AUD is a bit better. Alrighty, so recapping quickly here. Euro dollar could still push, but it's above the R2 or below the R2. I don't like to trade it. It's too far. But that was a good 2 setups though on the euro dollar. Pound dollar, I'm staying out till tomorrow morning. Dollar yen could be a good breakout if we get the momentum switch or break above 111.25 to the upside for a last push to 111.80 resistance, which could be a very strong reversal spot as well. Pound yen has to break above the daily pivot. You see we got upside momentum setups, but they're too close and below the daily pivot point. I'm not trading long right into the pivot. So that's out. Euro yen is that a bit different? I don't think we discussed this one, but Euro yen actually could be different because we have an uptrend. Let's see. We don't have an arrow at the moment though. And we kind of fell short of the M4, which is a bit worrying. I like to see a good, a direct hit on a pivot point, not missing, but sometimes it happens. Look at here, and you get the pullback, and you still get continuation. So I'm not sure about this one. Aussie, that looks good for continuation though to 72.87. Same with pound odd. I think this Aussie and the pound odd look the best at the moment from a 5-minute point of view. All right. Anyhow, let's forget that for a moment and let's take a look at a bit more higher time frames for swing trades. The next, maybe the Asian session, New York session still. So swing trades, I don't think at this moment a euro dollar is a good swing trade when looking at the hourly because it's getting at resistance. Even though we have momentum to the upside, we're hitting resistance. And from that point of view, I don't think we should be looking for longs right into that resistance. Good for 5-minute chart, but not for swing trades. Swing trades on pound USD, I think are not good either. We don't have any direction on the MACD 4-hour chart. So I would wait for that, basically. All right, wait for more direction on that. Dollar yen, do we have swing trades? Not really on the dollar yen because I think it's too close to resistance. So there is an intraday trade, but not a swing trade. All right, next on the list, pound yen. Do we have a swing trade? Yeah, I think we might have, but the MACD is quite iffy. It's not thick. So I would look for a better setup on it. Let's see if we can find a better swing setup. Alrighty, 15. Let's see, the hourly, let's check this. Let's see, Matus is asking if we have an ACU trade setup, and actually, I think that this one could be, but I don't have the Murray math levels here. Let me check. That could be, it's a bit low on the ACU level ladder, 3/8, but it could be also an ACU from that point of view. So the Aussies are ACU and HARP. Doesn't guarantee necessarily anything, but there looks to be confluence there. But is it the swing trade? Anyhow, back to focus. Is it the swing trade on this hourly chart? And we got good thick 4-hour. We have thin hourly. So it's actually a 50-minute setup at this moment because it's thinning at this point. But if we get push up and then a retracement and this goes into red and then turns up, we do have an hourly setup on the Aussie. But now it's too high on the Aussie hourly. We don't have a setup at this moment. All right, moving on. Let's see if we do have any swing trades. I think they're more intraday trades at the moment. But we can check the odd cat. Maybe that's a bit different. Could be on the euro odd. It's a very, very, very beginning of the downtrend. But we have a candlestick, bearish candlestick pattern right there. Strong candle, break of this triangle as well. Look at this. Good break. So I think we got an hourly setup. You can see that this is counter momentum already. So as soon as basically we get a break of this bear flag, I think we got a swing trade to the downside. We could put a fib from here to here. And as soon as we get a new arrow, or we get a good breakout candle, or we get a thinning on the MACD, I think we're looking at a continuation down to 152.50. So EUR/AUD looks good for a swing trade. I think at the moment, that's probably it. Yeah. Okay, so we got some intraday potential on pound AUD, AUD USD. We had it on euro dollar. We still have it on dollar yen. And swing trade, I think euro AUD at the moment. That's just my 2 cents. Let's put a, yeah. Let's see. What's the deviation between the, what is the deviation between the two MAs? Oh, the two MAs? This is 144 and this is 169 EMA. I'm not sure if I got your question ergo correctly, but these two here, regarding trades on the MACD, ACU, basically we had a setup on the euro dollar. 4-hour chart, we see thick MACD here. Okay, and then an hourly chart, we basically had, let me make that a bit bigger. We went from thick to thin on this candle. And let me show the candle itself right here. Right, so this was the trigger for your dollar upside. From a 1-hour ACU point of view, what I would consider a reversal trade. Then there was another HARP setup actually later on here. Let's pull over the AUD/CAD finally. And let's take a look at what's going on. AUD/CAD clearly 4-hour bullish momentum. No doubt about that. 1-hour chart, the 144 and 169 EMA, that's those two long-term moving averages, ergo. And we see a retracement at this point. We got good trend. Look at this. Everything is aligned since here, or here at least. Good momentum. And we're retracing as we speak. You see that? So 50-minute chart. There we go. Good 50-minute setups already actually back in here. But let's see if there's something there right now. We hit M4, retracing to R1. Could be continuation. We have momentum, as you can see. Five-minute chart looks like a good continuation. It's a bit choppy price action from my point of view, but I think should be okay. So that looks good too. And I'm going to use a tight stop loss. I don't want to take too much risk, but I'll go below, let's see, maybe here or even this bottom. Maybe even this bottom. All right, very tight stop loss there. Just in case this is weakness, because this is a push up, but this could be just kind of a false breakout for downside. And something to be cautious of. All right. But otherwise looks good. But I got a lot of Aussies already open, so I don't think that too many Aussies, you want to be careful of over Aussieing any trade or overdoing any particular setup on one currency. That's something you want to be careful of. Let's take a look at, last but not least, how the Aussie is doing. Well, this one is at least at break even, so that's good. Aussie's still hanging in there. And last not least is pound odd. It's a bit struggling. This does not lost its momentum, but it's regaining momentum. So let's see. I'd like to have it push actually right now. That would be great. It's 4:30 my time, so we still have a good hour or so in the New York session, 1.5 hours, right? So it should be a good part of the day. Let me check the news events, but I think we got all the news events behind us and stuff like that. So I would like to see 4:30. Often you get a bump, you get an extra momentum push, at the top of the hour and half of the hour. So we just had that. We might see that push right now, actually. See the momentum coming into the market again. 2 minutes ago, we had the bottom of the hour. So maybe that's why we're seeing actually price moving. Right? When we started our webinar, we had a news event on the consumer confidence, which was negative for the dollar. So most news events now are behind us. So, I think the market is free to move with momentum. You can see big candle now approaching. So it's good candle. It's red. Momentum is back. We lost it for a second here, but the arrow is still on our side. It didn't switch back yet. So that's important too. All right, so that looks good. Aussie is continuing pushing as well. AUD still has the blue momentum on it. So let's see how that goes. Looking pretty good as this is falling right now. All right, so would like to see a good push. The next 1.5 hours, would like to see price make it to this target at least. Well, it's already halfway there now with this candle, so it's really going very fast. And if you want to see the candle itself, this is how the candle itself is looking like. So that's very cool. So maybe the candle, I think with this big candle, I think it's 99% certain that our targets are going to be hit. Might be even worth considering to move the target lower. I don't know about that, but I always like to, to take profit. Sometimes I do this. It's a bit gutsy because psychology starts to play a role, because if you put it lower and then you kind of start thinking, oh, I would have had target already hit, but I'm still in that trade. So that's always a bit difficult. But it's really going fast. So let's take a look at this setup again, so you can see, what were the triggers for this. I think we can already hit it in the next 5 minutes, actually, considering the pace. So if it does hit, it's going to be an 86 pip win, and the original risk was about 35. So it's going to be about 2.5 to 1 trade. So let's take a look again. We had a bearish candlestick pattern, right? We had a bearish MACD, so good momentum to the downside, we concluded. On the hourly chart, we see that price was retracing. Sorry, momentum was retracing, but otherwise everything was still aligned. All right, next, 50-minute chart, we see on our HARP charts that we were basically had momentum, but we were looking for a pullback off of the target, right? And we got that. We got the pullback, and then we were looking for continuation after that pullback. The pullback happened here, and we got it with an arrow here, right there, and the candle switch even there. So anyone who took that trade here as we were talking live would have also had a good entry, and would be in roughly a bit worse price, but I mean, ultimately doesn't really matter as price is touching the M1, and the spread seems to be okay. I'll take that 81 pips right there. So I'll close it. Maybe missed me by 1 or 2 pips, So I just closed it at 81. It's bouncing off M1 perhaps. Other option could be to trail it, but 81 pips not bad, right? At least we close it together. Did anyone take that trade by any chance as we were analyzing this live by any chance? Just out of curiosity. Now this target is a mile target. I think that eventually we can get to S2 because that's where the minus 61.8 confluence is. So I think that we could see one more push. I really think that there's a good chance of follow through. But if a trade can finish that fast, why not? 81 pips is good enough, especially considering the 30, what was it? 30, I forgot already. 35, 40, 35, I think, risk or something like that. Let's see. Can I ask the ask line? I don't have ask lines often on the chart. Oh, you mean this? I'm not sure if that's it actually. Spread line. I actually don't know how to do that. Sorry, folks, this is in check. Oops, no, I don't think that will help you that much. All right. And then show ask line. Matthias is here to save the day. There we go. All right. Pound cat. So how about the others? There's still the Aussie. Aussie's failing here. Got lots of momentum. That's a break even for me. Hot cat is also losing momentum. So we see pound weakness against the odd, but we see odd weakness against the CAD at this moment. Bit of loss of momentum. Let's review this, see if that makes sense. If there's still, I think a bit of, to be honest, we got a lot of signals right here, and if you get a lot of them within the kind of a bunched up period of time, it's the third one, and so is not the best one anymore. But I would say it's probably still worth it. It's only about 18 pip risk, so it's not much. Aussie's failing, but this one is at break even, so that's okay. I'm hoping for a push, but you can see it's kind of faltering. Let's see what's going on. It's losing momentum at this point. All right. Well, I still think it could bounce. It is basically an intraday uptrend because we're clearly above the pivot point. So, but this is a bad sign. So this trade could end up for break even. Let's see. But anyhow, the pound out was a good one. So if this is break even, that's okay. All right, folks. I don't want to hold you up any longer. I thank you so much for being here. I hope to see you tomorrow. For those that decide to use our ACU or HARP ACU system or HARP charts, we got extra sessions after this as well at 5 p.m. Yes. So those are for those that joined, but we have another free session though for you tomorrow and next week. So two times, and let's see. If you don't get bored by it, then maybe we'll continue. But this is just a one-time thing for the moment. But if you're interested, then we can maybe do it more often. So, well, in any case, thank you so much for being here and wish you all great trading. Cheers, folks.